So day 2, we are back. As you can see, it is a controlled mess, meaning I know where everything is and I know where everything needs to go. So it's high noon. I think it's high noon. The sun's directly above us, and in Phoenix, you know that means it's death outside right now. So I'm about to put up the tent. I had to locate a 12.17 so I can take the torque converter mount off, and yeah, of course, the one socket that you need, you can never find. Real quick, I'm gonna knock out my valve cover. Gasket is leaking like crazy and it's making my engine bay look disgusting. So I'm going to redo my valve cover real quick so it's a little bit easier on the eyes, and put a little Honda bond on my valve cover gasket and try to get that situated, as well as put the motor in the coupe. I do believe I have everything, so let's see what we can get accomplished and what time we can finish. Before I get started, I gotta give the Acura some time to cool off, but I'm not gonna say this is a cheat code because it says it on the can. Brake parts cleaner, if you take out the brakes and just leave parts cleaner, it does amazing work to getting buildup off of motors. Now, I'm not gonna say it's a cheat code because it says it on there, but if you guys ever need to clean your engine bay or want to clean your engine bay, you can use degreaser and, you know, a pressure washer or whatever. I'm gonna show you guys a quick. Back to bare metal. They works so great. As you can see, B20B. Yeah, this stuff works amazing. The only thing I hate about it is a can of this is $4. A can of degreaser is also $4. You can clean a whole engine bay with $4 of degreaser. Unfortunately, this you're gonna need about 3-4 cans. It goes quick. But if you work your way from the top to the bottom, you can get it done a lot quicker. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the transmission on the other motor and clean up some of these areas so I can get the gaskets or what have you sealed properly. Quick update, it's hot, extremely hot. Transmission is separated. Okay, flywheel is now on the new one. I got the valve cover on, Honda Bond on, Honda Bond on, Honda Bond is on. Distributor is bolted on, and this whole side is complete. Alternator from the old car is now on. Got the new bracket on. Had to swap that out, so I had to take this whole assembly off. Now I need to do the rest of the flywheel, the clutch, get the transmission bolted up. This fuel rail is OBD2B, so I have to swap out the fuel rail and the injectors, and then swap out the harness, put the new harness on, and that's it for this. And then it's ready to go back in. We're gonna go over to the valve cover, wrinkle plus, high temperature, wrinkle finish, wrinkle black. So basically I cleaned it with the parts cleaner, and it got off all the loose paint, and I'm about to just go over it a couple of times. It says you're supposed to do it like this, like this, like this. So I'm gonna do about 4 or 5 coats, and then I'm gonna check in with you guys when this is done and ready to go back on. Update, still too hot outside. Transmission is ready to go on. Flywheel is all bolted up. Clutch is bolted up, torque down to spec. The wire harness is all on. I had to swap out the fuel rail and these fuel rail mounts right here because these ones are longer than the other ones. So to get this fuel rail jumping off, I had to put this fuel rail, these injector clips, and these mounts, as well as this for emissions purposes, because this is not a JDM spec car. This is a USDM, so we do have emissions. I don't really have to go to emissions, but like I said, the wiring harness is on. This motor is ready to get mounted to the transmission and ready to go in. As we scroll over here, 4 coats of wrinkle black. Still a couple of blemishes right here, nothing serious. If I would have used sandpaper and, you know, sanded that down, it would have came out perfect. But I have 3 of these valve covers, so this is just temporary until I figure out my end game on what I'm gonna do. So this is better than what it was before. I'm gonna go ahead and slap this back on, use some Honda Bond and get that going. And I'll check in with you guys, say motor in, maybe first startup, who knows. But I will check in with you guys momentarily. Extremely hot, I'm sweating like I just left the gym, but good news. So before I go inside, because I have a major headache, I got a headache yesterday from the heat, I'm almost done today, so I'm gonna go take a break, try to knock out this headache real quick. Well, motor's in, motor mount, motor mount, motor mount. All I gotta do is button some stuff up, plug this Johnny in, put the belts back on there, the exhaust is going back on, slave, put the juices in, fresh oils, and this guy is done. Quick second, I want to tell you guys something. So as we walk over to the Acura, okay, so like I was telling you guys, the Acura has been leaking on this side, and I couldn't figure out, to save my life, why. I've never taken the valve cover off since I got the car. Turns out this bolt right here was stuck underneath here, enabling this to be bolted and seated all the way down. So this whole time I've had this car, this has not been sandwiched or pancaked because I've had that bolt wedged in there, so it's constantly been leaking all over my motor. Bolt out, you can see kind of where it's been wedged at. Bolt is out, and now Honda Bond is doing its thing, and I'm going to clean this off and make sure that was my problem. But yeah, crazy. I've had this car for almost 5 months now, and I've never noticed that bolt was wedged in there. So motor is in, power steering pump is in, belt is tight, AC compressor's in, AC compressor's tight, hose is on. I haven't put no fluids in there yet. Intake manifold is on, everything's buttoned up. The intake tube is not on, as you can see. This couple of hoses, but for the most part everything is buttoned up. The shift linkage is still on the ground. See, axles are not done. That guy's all done. So I primed it a couple of times just to check to see if there was any leaks, any fuel leaks. Did that a couple of times just to see if there was any fuel leaks. No fuel leaks, that's tight. Nothing from the injectors, that's on there good. We're gonna go ahead and give first start up. Foot on the clutch. First start up, turn it off real quick. That's as far as we've gotten so far. Swap is pretty much done. Just got a couple more bolts, put the axles on. Spark plugs, you know, the little intricate things. But that's pretty much it. I'll check in with you guys when the car's on the floor. So everything is pretty much buttoned up. Let's see, the intake itself is pretty much the last thing. I need to burp the system. Other than that, I just drove it on its own power. Went all the way back to the Acura, pulled it up. As you can see, it's on the floor. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up right here. I gotta go help move some things, so I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be dark by the time I get back, but it is a running car. It is a successful swap. I try to put as much back to OEM as I could. All the brackets, all the clips, everything I could. I missed some of them, but hey, it happens. Part 2 complete. Swap successful. As always, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, do what you gotta do. Till next time, I'm gone.